And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. It's a little bit after 4 o'clock here in the New York, New Jersey area. My name is Lou Tenor, and welcome on all. Um, we're coming to you from Atlantic City this weekend. If you hear a little noise in the background, that's just coming from the outside. Don't worry about it. I have no control over this, so just gotta bear with that this week, okay? So we'll take care of that. A number to call is, of course, 512-543-4662, and we'll be here until just before 6 o'clock when Rasal takes over his show. Don't forget, you can check us out on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and dial up the Enhanced Sports Show, and you'll see this show in its entirety, along with other shows in the past several weeks. Got a lot to discuss here, so I'll bring in C. Davidson. Are you there? Okay. All right. Mike? That's better. That's better. And Diane. Can't forget Diane, of course. All right, guys. So first things first. Of course, the first of the month. So let me check over our calendar events, and we've got quite a lot going. Of course, we got NFL preseason, which is going on right now. Um, College football will start its season on August 26th, 3 weeks from now, even though it's considered what we call week zero. But yes, it still counts. So keep that in mind. Um, the FIBA World Basketball Championships will take over on August 25th as well. That's U.S. versus, or say U.S. versus the world. We'll also have the Little League World Series, which is coming up around about, I think it's about 2 weeks from now. And Devin is here. Hey, Dev. Is here. And the U.S. Open Tennis Championship also begins at the last week of August as well. So, tennis, anyone? Yeah. And of course, mention all the NFL. So, here we go. So, while we're on the subject of baseball, let's go over the standings. We do this time of the month. It goes like this. All right, for the American League, which is the strong division, the Orioles are still in front at 68 and 42. Just my rotten luck. The Rays right behind them at 67 and 45, 2 games back. The Blue Jays 61 and 50, 7.5 back. Ah, well. Red Sox 57 and 52, 10.5 back. And right below them at the bottom is the Yankees at 57 and 53, which is something we're not used to seeing, guys. Any thoughts on the division before I move on to the other divisions? Yeah, more so for the Mets, but we'll get to that in a little while. Anyone else? Anyone else have any thoughts before I move on? Yeah. It wasn't that long ago, Steve, that they were still at the bottom of the barrel and were a joke, right? Look at them now. Yeah. The tragic Comedy Central, known as the AL Central, the Twins are still the only team in the division with a 500 record or better at 57 and 54. The Guardians are 54 and 56, 2.5 back, sadly enough. The Tigers are 48 and 61, 8 back. The White Sox 43 and 68, 14 back, and the Royals 36 and 75, 21 back. Your season's over. Forget it. All right, to the Wild Wild West, sort of. It's a tie win here between state rivals of Texas, as the Rangers are 64 and 46, and the Astros are 63 and 48, a game and a half. But now I think it's now 2 games, as the Astros lost to the Yankees just a short time ago. Thank you. Okay, the Mariners are 58 and 52, 6 back. The Angels, kind of a long shot at 56 and 55, still decent, 8.5 back. Gotta get their act together now. It's mathematically possible they could sneak up there, but they gotta start winning right now, even with or without Otani doing double duty. And of course, the A's are the A's at a miserable, pathetic joke of a team. At a ready, you ready for this, guys? 30 and 80. Oof. Yuck. All right, moving to the National League. Braves, the best team in all of baseball, 70 and 31, have a commanding 12.5 game lead for the Phillies at 59 and 51. The Marlins, 58 and 53. The Mets, 50 and 59. I'm sorry, the Phillies are 12 and back, and the Marlins are 14 back. The Mets, 50 and 59, 21 back. Ugh. At the Nationals, 47 and 63, 24 and a half back. Steve, what is wrong with your Nationals? You can say that again. What have I always said though about money doesn't make your team better. If, ha ha ha. No, look, I've always said there's 3 things that can make the team good, you know, and more money is not one of them. It does take solid pitching. It does take solid hitting. It takes talent, skill, and team chemistry. If you don't have those factors, it doesn't matter what your name is. Okay, if you're not performing, your team is not going to win, no matter how much you pay. Plain and simple. Mike, what is wrong with your Mets? They say you can't go home. We'll get to this trade deadline in just a moment because I also want to know who you thought were the winners and the losers. But hold your thoughts on that, guys. All right. So to the Central, the Brewers, 59-52, have a half game lead over the Reds at 59-53. How about that? The Cubs, hey, look at this. The Cubs are moving up too, 56 and 54, 2.5 back. Shades of 2016? Maybe. The Pirates, who started out so well in the season, are now 49 and 60, 9 back. And the Cardinals, a disappointing 48 and 63, 11 back. What a shame. And finally, in the West, the Dodgers are 63 and 45, have a 3 game lead over the Giants at 61 and 49. The D backs, 57 and 54, 7.5 back. The Padres, 54 and 56, 10 back. And the Rockies are falling off a cliff at 43 and 66. Yeah. A Rocky Mountain high, more like a Rocky Mountain low. Sorry, Dev. Okay, so now we'll get to the trade deadline. That was held on Tuesday. Well, the deadline passed on Tuesday, I should say. The Yankees didn't make a lot of moves, so it was kind of. But then again, it wasn't really that surprising. They didn't. They felt like they didn't need to make any moves. So, but a lot of other teams having moves to find out where they're going to go, because now we're in like the last 7-8 weeks before the end of the season. So teams are making moves. So now let's see where we are. All right. I don't know if I'm going to have time to go through everything here, but I'll go for as much as I possibly can. All right. Starting with our Yankees. The Yankees, these are the most recent updates. The Yankees are acquiring right-hander Spencer Howard from the Rangers for cash considerations, according to a familiar source with the deal. The Padres and Royals. The Padres are acquiring right-hander reliever Scott Barlow from the Kansas City Royals. Okay. Any help they can get. The Red Sox are acquiring infielder Luis Urias from the Milwaukee Brewers. The Miami Marlins are acquiring first baseman Josh Bell from the Guardians for infielder Gene Segura and infield prospect Kalani Watson. Yankees did get another trade, as the Yankees are acquiring right-handed reliever Kenyon Middleton. That's his name, Kenny Middleton, not related to the other Middleton, from the White Sox. Well, the White Sox are dead anyway. Yuck. All right, moving along. The Orioles. Listen closely, Steve. The Orioles are finalizing a deal, which I think is now official, for right-hander Jack Flaherty from the Cardinals. Thoughts on that, Steve? Right. Yes. All right. That's what I said. Give credit where credit is due. That's what we do around here. All right. So moving along. Oh, Mike. The D-backs are acquiring outfielder Tommy Pham from the Mets. Yeah. Funny making that, because I think the Mets have given up now. I mean, they would look like they're in contention. I think maybe like 6 weeks ago, but now have just fallen off the wheels here. The wheels are really falling off in the Mets. So yeah, what do you make of this with Pham? That's what you said. Yeah. Now remember, these trades are made, of course, before today's show began. So if excuse me if I'm speaking a little, shall we say, outdated, forgive me. Okay. So another completed trade. The Rangers are acquiring catcher Austin Hedges from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Like I said, start off so well, and now are back to the role itself again. The White Sox, bless you, Diane. The White Sox required pitcher Luis Patino from the Rays for cash considerations. Probably no relation to Rick Pitino. The Marlins have acquired power hitting infielder Jake Burger from the White Sox for left-handed pitching prospect Jake Elder. If Taylor was here, I don't know if he feels about this, but we call this guy Erod. Turns down a chance to go to LA. The Dodgers and the Tigers have had a trade in place for left-hander starter Eduardo Rodriguez. Yeah, Erod. I think you guys get it now. Okay, but Rodriguez, involved in his 10-team no trade clause, that includes the Dodgers, and now the deal is dead. Moment of silence for the dead deal, please. Thank you. Okay, the Brewers acquired left-handed reliever Andrew Chafin in a trade with the D-backs. The Philadelphia Phillies are in agreement, or I should say, have been in agreement to trade right-hander starter Michael Lorenzen from the Detroit Tigers. And the Tigers right now are not, well, they fell apart. Dodgers plan B. Verlander headed to Houston. The Dodgers were still on Eduardo Rodriguez, as far as they can tell, and Dylan Cease and Mitch Keller were not moved. Rodriguez might have been the last pivot. There didn't seem to be anybody else who would serve as a clear upgrade for the best young players. Mm-hmm. Whoever said you can't go home again, well, nobody told that to Justin Verlander. The Astros now have the deal in place as they required pitching ace Justin Verlander from the New York Mets. Sorry, guys. Sources familiar with the agreement told ESPN days after the deal signing, sending Mad Max Scherzer to the Rangers, spiced up the trade season. The Mets sent the reigning AL Cy Young winner back to his former team in a true deadline day blockbuster. Yeah. Hi, honey. I'm home. Oh, no. Okay. You guys get that. All right. All right. The Blue Jays. Well, like I said, nobody told it to Justin Verlander. Because exactly. Yeah. You were on a World Series team last year. You got traded to the Mets, and now you're back home again. Okay. Gee, I knew I shouldn't have packed all that luggage. Okay. The Blue Jays have acquired infielder Paul DeJong from the Cardinals. Other completed trades, the Padres have acquired left-handed starter Rich Hill, first baseman Chin-Man Choi from the Pirates. The Rockies and Braves have made the first deal on deadline day, Colorado sending veteran reliever Brad Hand to the Braves for right-handed pitching prospect Alec Bargar. And I think he deserves a hand. Okay. Yeah. All right. The Yankees may move. No, they did not make a move. Okay. Let's just see here if we got anything else. The Cubs have acquired third baseman Jenner Calorlando from the Washington Nationals. Sorry, Steve, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, Nationals are cleaning house. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. More so a broom. The Brewers are acquiring Mark Kahina from the Mets. A source told ESPN. The Brewers are sending right-hander Justin Jarvis, who's a double A, back to the Mets. Okay, so they got something. The D-backs are finalized a trade to acquire closer Paul Sewald from the Mariners. Seattle will reportedly really receive big leaguers Josh Rojas and Dominic Anzone for minor leaguer Ryan Bliss. Let's hope they give him a lot of bliss. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. And I'll do one more. The Rangers have acquired left-hander Jordan Montgomery and right-handed reliever Chris Stratton. Oh, I thought I was doing the Braves. Oh, okay. I'll do the next one then. From the Cardinals, who get infielder Thomas Segis, right-hander Tariq uh, Tarek Robbie, and left-hander John King. And finally, the Braves have acquired infielder Nicky Lopez from the Royals on Sunday in exchange for left-hander Taylor Hearn. All right, guys. So, like I said before, who do you think are the winners of the trade, and who do you think are the losers? Steve? Really? Okay. I mean, they're doing so well. I mean, I don't know if I call them losers, but all right, to each his own. Mike? Really? That's surprising me. All right, Diane. I wanted to say who are the winners and who are the losers. That's what I'm doing. That's what I thought too. Who do you think are the losers? Hmm. Devin, assuming he's still. Yeah. Hmm. I'm afraid you're right, guys, because first of all, the Yankees didn't really do anything with the trade, so it's hard to say how they can be winners. So I guess I have to say um, losers, and I think I would have to say that the Orioles are the winners. I mean, look what they've done so far. Jimmy has just joined us. Hey, Jimmy. Yeah, you can say that again. I do. When the Yankees have done nothing. And I really thought the Yankees were going to step it up. Once we got Judge back, but they haven't really done anything at all. They've lost. I think they're like 3-6 since Judge came back, and it's not going as well as I have hoped. So they got to get their act together now. So they did win against tough competition today against the Astros. So at least that's good. So at least we got two out of the first three. Game four tomorrow. You could say, "Hey Steve, I got some news for you." Turning gears to hockey for a minute, I got some news for you. Yeah, the Capitals. Capitals forward, whose name I will not mention. You know who it is. Signed a long-term deal that will keep him in the Capital for the rest of his career. Probably. Uh, all right, Tom Wilson. I can't stand him though. Agreed to a 7-year deal worth 45 million. That keeps him entering for free agency next summer, and I think a lot of Capitals fans are happy about that. Instead, he will count 6.5 million towards the cap by the time the new contract begins next season, not this upcoming season, but starting in 2024, 2025, and lasting until 2031. Oh wow, I'll be 61 years old by then. Yeah, perish the thought. Ugh. So, Steve, looks like your Capitals got a good deal here. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I know, but I still think he's got a way to, if he can stay healthy, Ovechkin probably could break Gretzky's record, but he's got to stay healthy, and he's still got, quite a ways to go yet. I don't think he's going to do it this season. I think you have to wait till next season. So keep that in mind, Steve. Yes. All right. Moving along, we also have other deals that are mentioned here now. Here is one thing that I'm not so sure about. Okay. First up, Lakers forward Anthony Davis, or AD, as the case may be, signed a 3-year, $186 million contract extension that'll keep him tied to the Lakers till 2028 for a total of $270 million, set by his agent Rich Paul of Clutch Sports. Oh, surprise. Davis' deal was the largest annual deal in NBA history, which will average $62 million per year. Davis, who had 2 years and $84 million off in his current deal, became eligible to sign a 3-year extension yesterday. General manager Rob Pelinka and Paul moved quickly to complete the deal, and he replied, "You complete me." Never mind. Okay. Along with LeBron James, the league's all-time leading scorer, Davis remains a cornerstone of the Lakers, who went to the Western Conference Finals this past season, which did surprise many in the league, and its fans too. He averaged 26 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks, shot 50% from the field. But my question is, as good as we think that Anthony Davis is he really worth $186 million? I don't know. I mean, he's good. I'll give you that. He is a good player. I like him. I think he's but I don't think he's worthy of $186 million. Any thoughts on that, guys? Nobody. I don't think he's worth it. I'll give him, he is good, but $106 million. I don't know. I don't think he's worth that much. I would say he's one about maybe somewhere like in the 60 million, $70 million range of that. Jimmy, you wanted to chime in? Exactly. Exactly my point. He's not consistent enough to make that kind of money. And we have somebody from the Amityville Horror of New York. Oh my goodness. Uh, uh, Walter, brother Walter, welcome back. Welcome back, Walter. Nice to have you. You guys remember brother Walter, right? Yes. Well, nice to see you again. It's nice to have you back. So let me ask you that, Walter. Is Anthony Davis worth $186 million? Right, I would think so. As Jimmy just brought up, he was inconsistent all year, and inconsistency is not worth more money, and it's not going to lead to a championship either. Although the question was, I heard of this a few days ago. Say if Chris Paul was on the team last year, would the Lakers have won the championship? I mean, teaming up with LeBron, would the Lakers would have won it? Oh, okay, right, of course, yeah, right, yes, yes, I would think so too. Anyone else have any thoughts? Nobody? Oh, okay. Going once, going twice. Okay, no sale. All right. Steve, I thought you wanted to chime in. All right, I'll move on then. All right, turning to baseball with other factors, not including trades. Um, Otani, show me the money. Otani will have to wait a few days for his next start. Don't worry, he's nothing really seriously injured, but he's been doing a lot of cramps lately. He had cramp issues starting early in the week, and it's been located right near his middle finger. That might have nothing to do with the blister he suffered last month and kept him out of action. It might be related to that, but it's not going to keep him out of the game entirely. So he hopes to be back against the Giants on Wednesday, but he is still in the lineup at the DH, and he does lead the league in home runs with 40, and went 1 for 4 last night against the Mariners in a loss. And I believe on Thursday they lost on a grand salami in the ninth inning. What a way to lose a game! 40 home runs so far. We're on August 5th right now. Uh, is Otani going to break the single season home run record of the American League before the season's over? Steve, will Otani break the home run record was just done by Aaron Judge last season? Thankfully, somebody agrees with me. Walter, well, he has been injured. Yes. right? Yes, right. Exactly. I mean, we haven't really seen it since the days of Ruth when he pitched, for Boston, and then came over pitched in bad in Boston before becoming just a hitter in New York. You know, we don't see that. We don't see that anymore. Mike, Mike, any thoughts? Oh, Mike, hold on. Okay, go ahead, Mike. No, is Otani gonna break the American League home run record? Uh, no, Mike. The question is Otani gonna break the single season home run record? He has 40 home runs now. He'll break the record. Oh, I wish he would have said that. Okay, Walter, go ahead. Go ahead, Walter. You got another question, I think. All right. All right. Yep. Yes. Well, the thing is, though, most of well, the thing is, Walter, when they come here, they've already had a lot of experience playing in their own leagues, like in Venezuela, Cuba, Japan, Cucamonga, or wherever. So by the time they get, that was a little bit of a joke. By the time they get here, they're like really past their prime. They call them rookies, even though they're not rookies. When they get here, they're like in like their early 30s. So you probably have about a good 7 years to go if you can stay healthy, right? Because by the time you get 35, that's when you start to feel the wear and tear on you. In baseball, it does take a lot out of you. 35 is not the same as being 25. I don't know. So by the time those players get, especially from the Asian markets of Japan, China, um, maybe Hong Kong, although you get to see that, I would say they have a good 5 to 7 years, but they'll probably peak within 3 years. Once you hit 30, your body starts to change, especially if you're a high profile guy. Yeah. Just like in the NFL. What do they say about the NFL? What is the NFL stand for? Guys at your cue, stay it. Thank you. And you guys call yourself a chorus? Oh boy. Yeesh. Hopefully Matthew. Yes. Certainly. I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Yes. Yeah, there has been some talk about that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that though. I know that the balls are juiced up for that home run derby. I mean, it's really done intentionally, but I don't know if it can it messes up the swing like that. You know, the All Star home run derby is just for fun, so I don't know if I actually agree with that. Some people, I don't. So that just it depends on who you ask. Yeah, draw your own conclusions though, people. All right, so we have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony today as the NFL welcomed 9 new players formally this afternoon. The ceremony took place this afternoon. The class features Rondell Barber, Dale Rivas, and Ken Riley. Linebackers Chuck Howley and Zach Thomas. Pass rusher Demarcus Ware. Offensive tackle Joe Thomas. Linesman Joe Klecko and coach talking about. Finally, Klecko gets into the Hall of Fame. Thank you. Speaking as a Jet fan, of course. Now, if you guys don't remember, well, some of you might remember, but the Jets back in the early '80s, when Klecko was there, they were a decent team. In fact, they were doing better than the Giants. Sorry, guys. Because the Giants back then were like, ugh, joke of the league. But yeah, Steve. Yep. Klecko, Mark Gastineau, uh, Richard Todd. That was a powerful. They were like. You've heard the stock exchange. Yeah, yes, you've heard the stock exchange. Well, we were known as the Sack Exchange back in the early '80s. We led the league in sacks with those guys. So I'm glad that finally Klecko from that Jets team, was with a fairly decent team back then, gets to the Hall of Fame. Thank goodness. Bit too long, if you ask me, though. Just a bit too long. Okay, so here's more on that. You also celebrate the AFC Jets team that will be honored this season with the teams wear their throwback jerseys. Oh no. Klecko was part of the Jets famed New York Sack Exchange defense that led the NFL in sacks in 1981. I was only 11 years old then. Wow. The unit provided a key role in the Jets reaching the AFC title game that following season. Yes, they did. Some of you might have forgot that, but they did reach the AFC title game that season, but lost to Miami 14-0 in that AFC Championship game. Klecko has a rare distinction that separates himself from every other Hall of Famer in that he is the only player in Canton who made the Pro Bowl while playing on 3 different positions on the offensive line. Hey, Mikey, what do you make of that? Well, no. Joe Klecko going to the Hall of Fame. Walter, who did you follow growing up, though? Because yeah, yeah. How about you? Yeah, wait, what? Oh, right. All right, go ahead. Yeah, he's done. Yes. Yeah. So do I. No, he hasn't been the Hall of Fame yet. I'm not sure when. I think he will get in. Another question asked: what about Mark Sanchez? I think he will make it. Is he gonna be a first ballot? No. What's not gonna carry away here? But I do think he will make it eventually. He did take the Jets to 2 AFC Championship games back in '97 and 1999. So he is Hall of Fame worthy. Now, whether the committee agrees on that or not, when it gets in, that's another question altogether. If we're up to me, I think it's third or fourth year of eligibility, but we know how the committee can be because they can be kind of, yeah, Walker should get it. Yeah. I don't expect a lot of balance for the Jets, though, but eventually I think they will get in, much to my, because, the Hall of Fame, they want, players who've been on championship teams multiple times. They had overall, great numbers. The thing is with Eli Manning, okay, yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls, but his overall record as a starter was below 500, and that could be kind of controversial when he gets in. Some say he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Others say no. So that's kind of a tricky area there. So hopefully, yes, yeah, Bennington, yes, yes. Oh, well, really. Hmm. Yes. All right, guys. I'm gonna switch gears a minute to basketball because the World Championship is coming up. So I'm gonna go over this roster, preseason, the warm-up games in various parts of the world. The U.S. is playing in Vegas for their tune-up games. The tournament kicks off actually on August 25th. So here are the lineups for our starters for the U.S. Olympic roster. Not any of the teams outside. All right. So we have Bam Bam from the Miami Heat. Um, Bradley Beal from your Wizards, Steve. Unless, oh wait, no. Okay, okay. Here's an update. Bradley Beal, oh, Bradley Beal and Kevin Love will not. I repeat, not participate in the. Oh, this is a little bit outdated. This was the Tokyo Olympics. That was outdated. So we'll just go on from here. Okay. Devin Booker from the Suns. Actually, it's supposed to be Devin Godey, but he dropped out. Sorry. Just kidding, Devin. Kevin Durant from what used to be the Nets. That's a little bit outdated. Jeremy Grant from the Pistons. Yeah, I just had to get you there. All kidding aside. Draymond Green from the Warriors. Drew Holiday from the Bucks. Keldon Johnson from the Spurs. Zach LaVine from the Bulls. Damian Lillard from the Blazers. Kevin Love of the Cavaliers. JaVale McGee of the Nuggets. Chris Middleton of the Bucks. And, of course, Jason Tatum from the Celtics. I know I can say this is from the Tokyo Olympics because the 2024 games are going to be played in Paris. Which one? Which one? Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, guys, wait. I made a mistake. The page didn't load up properly, so I'm going to redo this for 2023. Okay. It goofed up again. So now here's the lineup for this year. Okay. Ready? Forward, Pablo Banchero from the Magic. Forward, Mikhail Bridges from the Nets. Guards. Okay, there's four of them. Wow. Four guards. Jalen Bruson from the Knicks. I like that. Anthony Edwards from the Wolves. Tyrese Halliburton from the Pacers. Josh Hart from the Knicks at guard. Your forwards, Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans. Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Grizzlies. Cam Johnson of the Nets. Walker Kessler from the Jazz. That's at center. At forward, Bobby Portis from the Bucks. And at guard from the Lakers, Austin Reeves. I had to do my I had to do my this is only for Team USA. Now I apologize for that because the page didn't laugh properly. So this is the correct list for 2023 for the 2023 World Cup FIBA World Basketball Tournament. 3 weeks away, guys. So what do you think? You think we can make this line legit and beat Spain, or what? We should. Yeah, but Spain's pretty good. Spain is now the number one team overall. Well, that in parts of the Eurobasket Championship last year, so I understand that. But we're second. We're second right now overall in the world rankings. Yuck. Yeah. So our tournament starts on the 25th. So anybody else have any thoughts on this world basketball roster as far as we're concerned? Yeah, like that. Like that. Yeah. Right. Anyone else have any thoughts? One at a time. Okay. Then I'll move on. Go ahead. Yes. Yeah. I think Bridges. No. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Right. Yes. Right. Yes. I did. All right. So while we're on the subject, um, the U.S. did play a tune-up game yesterday against. How was it? World Cup held a practice yesterday afternoon. Head coach Steve Kerr said, and I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that later on because they played a scrimmage game against a bunch of up and comers, and the up and comers actually won that scrimmage. So Steve Kerr was very impressed. So that's how that worked. Oh yeah, they played against called the Select Team, which is a group of young players and some veterans brought into the senior group to prepare for competition. In a group led by Pistons guard Cade Cunningham, it was the first team that like that won most scrimmages yesterday and was impressive in both outings. Team USA coach Steve Kerr says scrimmages are a time-honored tradition in USA basketball, dating back to the first time the Dream Team played back in 1992. Makes me feel old. It and they actually won that against the Dream Team as well. And it happened again prior to the 2019 World Cup. The stunning performance by the team select, driven mostly by Cunningham, the top overall pick in 2021, was on the court in a competitive setting. He's only played in 12 games last season because he underwent a stress fracture in his leg. But yesterday, Cunningham said he was happy to be back on the court, and I think without his presence, maybe the select team would have lost. So this is not exactly the way I think that Team USA wanted to go win, as they had, with these training games and trying to make a run at trying to recapture the World Cup. So does it concern me, or I shouldn't be too concerned about it. Oh, speaking of concern, did anybody watch the Hall of Fame game between the Jets and the Clowns? I mean Browns on Thursday night. He did. Okay. I'm not too concerned about the game because it's only preseason. The stats don't count. The score doesn't really matter. You're just trying to get in. You're trying to feel the game. You haven't been playing the last 6 7 months, never. So it didn't really bother me. Yes, I didn't like the result, of course, but look, it's preseason. Nobody really cares. And the preseason, of course, has no bearing on what you're going to do in the regular season. I mean, you could be 0-3 or 0-4 and wind up 12-5 in the regular season. So as disappointed as I am on the result, I'm not terribly concerned, and I'm not going to be surprised if Aaron Rodgers does not play a preseason game. I mean, I think he's just warming up to get ready for the regular season. So, of course, if we would have had, maybe we would have won that game. But that's another story. Yes, yes, that's what it's there for. Yes, yes, yeah, right, yeah, yes, right, yeah, right. Yes, he is. He is. I wouldn't have it any other way. Wilson. Wilson. Oh, I hope so. If he can just stay out of injury, he'd be fine. We'd be fine. I would have took Mike White. To be honest, with you. I would have took Mike White. Yeah, yeah. I would. I would want Mike White though. Oh, yeah, yeah, mhm, yeah. Right. So there. Right. Right. Yes. That doesn't seem to be there. Right. Okay.
Aaron does not like to coach younger players.
Right. Right. What I thought.
He has this mentality.
Okay.
You're on the team.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the other phone now. I'm gonna go back. So just hang on a minute, guys. We're back. So, let me hang this up. And okay, hang on. If I can get this contraption to oh, stuck. Can you all hear me though? Yeah, hang on. Okay, okay. All right. My fault, guys. I knew it was gonna happen today. So yeah, do it, do it. I'm sure. Right. Yeah, it's like that. Keep it clean, guys. Flair. Believe this. All right, go on, go on, go on.
And don't be surprised if you see Solo turn on Roman tonight.
Yes.
Exactly. All right, back to you.
Okay, just a second.
Hold up, 1 second.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's family. Family. Yes. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yes. Right. Okay. All right. Diane, your trivia. Diane, your trivia. Yeah. I didn't hear. Browning. Browning. No. Who is it? Okay, that's my next guess. Right. All right, moving on. On. Right. Yeah. Yes. Melky. Okay, we got another call from Washington. State your name, please. 204. State your name. It's Dana. Come home, Dana. Nice to have you back. I was wondering. Yeah, I know you're feeling well. It's nice to have you back. Welcome. All right. I apologize. I apologize for any difficulties today. The connection is kind of weak here, but just bear with me for for the next 45 minutes or so. Okay. Thanks. All right. Diane, anything else? Oral Hershiser. Oral Hershiser. Hershiser. Well, a little before your time. Well, actually, there's a fourth choice, and there's Orville Redenbacher, but I declined. Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. Uh, yeah. Never mind. Okay. So now move on. All right, guys. Let me ask you a question. Did anybody see what I call the fight that wasn't last week? And what I mean that I mean by Terrence Crawford against Earl Spence. It was supposed to be a knockdown, drag out fight to the finish, but it was anything but that. KO'd in the ninth round to capture. That is that Crawford TKO'd Spence in the ninth round for the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, and it was nothing. It was just like one side altogether. I tuned in late for the show for the boxing match into the fourth and fifth round, and it looked like just Spence had nothing in there. I mean, he was just going to be like a zombie in the ring. I mean, he wasn't there at all. I don't even know the round. It was a beatdown for sure. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, the first round. The first round. So to continue on, Crawford floored Spence in round two, twice in round seven, two-fisted beatdown the rest of the way, and captured the WBA, IBF, and WBC 147-pound titles to go along with his WBO belt. That's quite a list. Crawford buckled and belted a swollen Spence in round nine, unloaded unanswered shots when referee Harvey, what's up, Doc, finally ended and stopped Spence's misery at 2 minutes and 35 seconds in the ninth round, which should have been done long before that. Need I say more? Well, I just thought it was fitting, Diane. You know, hey Doc, do you think maybe we can stop this fight here? No. Anyway, Spence did protest the stoppage, but appeared to lose every round other than the first. So even if the fight went the distance, there was no way Spence was going to win that fight for Crawford. And if you think it's going to be a rematch of it, forget it. I wouldn't see a rematch in this. Ain't going to be no rematch. Ain't going to be no rematch. Anyway, Crawford, unbeaten at 40-0 with 31 knockouts, traveled to Scotland to win his first title way back in 2014, a decision over Ricky Burns at 135 pounds. He went on to win the undisputed title at 140 pounds, and is now the first man to win all four belts at 147 pounds. Wow. Now, it means everything. He said after the fight, Crawford told ESPN that after Spence connected with a looping overhand, thought to himself, this is going to be a long night for him. And indeed it was. Spence never stopped playing with the southpaw jab. He was cut over the right eye in round three and barely landed a punch of consequence, or consequences, for the remainder of the fight. Spence, though, not too shabby with this record. He does have 28 wins against one loss with 22 knockouts. So the guy was not, like a second-rate fighter. Let's not be. Can you prove that? Yeah, yes, you're right. Okay, well, the other 10% they didn't. Never mind. Never mind. But look, well, like I said, Steve, he looked like he was a zombie. Yeah, the fight should have stopped in the sixth round. The fight should have stopped in the sixth round. There was no reason to go past that. Yeah, there was no reason to go past the sixth round. Thank you, Walter, for coming in. Drop it again sometime. Okay. Now, one of the drop it again sometime. I hope. All right. Well, whoever it is, come back again. All right. I think it was Devin. All right. One of the core Bengals defense signed a long piece of the Bengals defense signed a long-term deal. That's linebacker Logan Wilson on a 2-year deal worth $37.2 million. Wilson is the first member of the 2020 draft class to receive a new deal. Wilson the third-round pick out of Wyoming, was in the final year of his contract. The middle linebacker has started over 3 games his first 3 seasons. During the Bengals' best season since the '89 Super Bowl, Wilson was an integral part of the defense. Despite playing injured, he had massive performance against the Rams in Super Bowl 56, despite losing to the Rams, which was a great game. Wilson had 9 tackles, with 3 coming in from the last scrimmage, including 1 sack. Last season, he had a career high 123 tackles. He also had 7 interceptions and 11 pass deflections. Oof. So it kind of balances out. 7 interceptions, though. Oh, boy. All right, guys. Now for the latest chapter in musical chairs of college football. Ready? Oh, boy. Here we go. The latest realignment ripple in the college football world is at the formal stages, as ESPN that both Utah and ASU have applied for the Big 12 for formal membership. Here we go again. The application for membership for this carousel is needed the first step for schools to be approved to switch leagues and set the table for Utah, Arizona, and ASU to join the Big 12 in the near future. Earlier yesterday evening, the Big 12 presidents and chancellors were to meet and likely vote in both Utah and ASU as it's a process that becomes out on Wednesday as the school applied and voted to become members after applying. Arizona's membership still is going to be formalized as all 3 schools are expected to come in together. The announcement may have come last night. It may still be coming in today, as it hasn't already, as there's a sense of urgency on both sides to push through a hectic Friday that saw Washington and Oregon jump from the Pac-12 to the Pac-10. As we see it now, the Pac-12 is now officially dead. Okay. But this is getting ridiculous, Steve. All this, jumping divisions and whatnot in conferences. I mean, there's not gonna be any left. Yeah. Yes. Greg. Okay, Greg just joined us. Greg, any thoughts on any subjects? Okay. Well, we're doing college football, but you can bring in anything else you want, Greg. Yeah. Right. Yes. Definitely the discipline. Right. Spence is not a bad fighter, though. Spence is not a terrible fighter. I mean, he does have. Right. Damage. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I don't want. Oh, I don't want to do here. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're heading into college football. So what do you think of this, ridiculous realignment now? I mean, because first it was the Big East, then it's the Big Ten, the Big 12, Pac-10. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous now. I mean, there's probably gonna be hardly conferences left within the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, this is insane. Well, the Pac-12 is dismantling. Thank you. Right. Well, the Pac-12 seems to be gone, man. The Pac-12 looks to be dead. Good point there because Notre Dame's still in Indy. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, I know what I to do. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. All right, guys. I want to switch over to the NFL action here. So we're gonna run through the divisions here. Too late, Steve. No. No. You're right. Yeah. Yes. That's the truth. Okay, guys. I only got a half hour. Okay. So we'll run through the divisions now in the NFL. So I'll read this carefully, and you decide who is going to do what in each division this year. All right, we'll start off with the NFC East. We have the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and them. All right, guys, what do you got? All right, anyone else? All right, all right. Okay, I, wait a minute, wait a minute. You guys may have, you guys may have said that about Buffalo, but yeah, they'll probably take it. But with Rodgers coming in, do you think the Jets can make a wild card? All right. Did somebody's voice just change? Okay. All right. To the north. Oh, Steve. Oh, there you are. I thought I heard somebody familiar. Wow, 11 people. Okay. To the north, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers. All right. Who do you got? All right. Anyone else? One at a time, though, please. All right. Ooh. All right. All right. I'm gonna go with. We're doing division by Dana. We're doing it by division. Okay, we're doing it by division, not by conference. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, so I'm gonna go with the Ravens. And he said nevermore. Okay, next. All right, to the south, we have the Texans. That's Houston. The Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans. Anybody? Okay. Whoa. Wow. Yeah. Anyone else? Right. Okay. I'm gonna go with right. I think he's got some there, so I think I'm gonna have to go with Jacksonville. Much as I'm surprising myself. Okay, to the west, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. Thought so. Anybody else? Okay. Kansas City, here I come. Oh boy. All right. Moving along. And I just think oh, there we go. All right, moving on to the NFC now. We got the Cowboys, we got the Giants, the Eagles, and the Commanders. Gee, I wonder who Jimmy's going to take. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. All right. Anybody else? Hold it one at a time. I knew it. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, wait. Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh, oh, great. Wow. I got more people than I thought was going to be here. Wow. I like it. I like it. Cowboys. Okay. 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 I got to move along, guys. I got to move along. See what happens when you tune in late? Okay. So over now to the north. The Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. Yes. Yes. Right. Huh. Yes. Right. Right. Yes. I'll give you. I'm gonna go with the Lions. I'm gonna go with the Lions too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This- In the scrap, yes, they have. I'll give you that. Okay, the scrap heap division: the Falcons, the Panthers, the Aints, Saints, and the Buccaneers. Anybody want to think of anything in this division? Go ahead. Okay, I thought you would. Yes. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, bad to- Right. Right. Okay. 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 I'll take the Panthers. Yes. Yes, they were. course. Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna agree with that. So I'm gonna take yeah. So I'm gonna take um, Panthers. And last but not least, in the West, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners, Seahawks. Mm, yeah. Okay. Right. Yes. 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 Yeah. I'm gonna go with 49ers as well. All right, guys. So we're in. Mhm. Yes. Yes. Right. Right. Yeah. I agree. Yes. Right. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Okay. I gotta move on. I gotta move on. All right. All right. Well, as the preseason now begins, I'm going through the list here. Now, unlike the regular season where you pick what team is going to win in each game, I only want one team. I want you guys to pick, one team, one matchup of who's going to, well, the one that matches looks interesting to you. So I'll read off the list, and you decide which game this is of interest to you this week. We'll do the who's going to win what when the regular season begins. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. All right, so for Thursday, when we start, we got a doubleheader. The Texans take on the Patriots. The Vikings take on the Seahawks. Friday, we got the Packers versus the Bengals. The Giants taking on the Lions. The Falcons taking on the Dolphins. The Steelers taking on the Bucks. The Commanders taking on the Browns. And the Broncos taking on the Cardinals. Saturday, we have the Colts taking on the Bills, the Titans taking on the Bears, the Jets taking on the Panthers, Jaguars taking on the Cowboys, the Eagles taking on the Ravens, the Chargers taking on the Rams. And Sunday we have the Chiefs taking on the Saints and the Niners taking on the Ravens. Okay, so does anybody have a particular game they're interested in this next week? I think. All right. Okay. Okay. Eagles are playing the. Yeah, they are. All right. Anybody else? All right. I figured Mike would say Giants. Giants would say Bills. Yeah. 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 I'm looking. I'm looking to see what. I'm going to see what the Packers are going to do without Rodgers. They take on the Bengals, so I'm going to keep my eye on that game. I'm anxious to see what's going to happen without the presence of Rodgers, and see if it's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh boy, yeah, right. So remember, just said that. Thank you. So this is how we'll do it in preseason, and when we get to the week of the regular season, then we'll do what team you're going to pick against their opponent. This is just for laughs. All right. Yeah. Oh, on a soccer note, the U.S. plays the knockout round tomorrow against Sweden. Unfortunately, it's at a ridiculous time at 5 a.m. over here on the East Coast. Ridiculous. But does the U.S. have a chance against Sweden? Now, I knew that this was a tough, pool they went through. I mean, and Portugal, I knew it was going to be tough. They managed to tie the U.S. at one apiece. I thought maybe that's what was at least it was going to happen. They were going to tie the U.S. And that's how it ended up. So, what are we looking at against Sweden tomorrow, guys? This could be tough. Yeah. Yes, they do. You think so? Mhm. Sweden. Yeah. Well, watch out for Spain because they did a number on the Swiss this morning as they go to the quarterfinals. The Swiss did one in group division in Group A, but 5 minutes in the game, Spain's midfielder Antina Bonetti took care of that, and they had four additional goals from their teammates, and just blew them right out of the water. So Spain looks to be tough heading into the knockout stage. Oof. And also age, they're getting older. Yes, needs nope. And Raponi is not playing either. Megan Raponi, she's not right. Ha ha ha. So speaking of that, and right, and Japan also advances as they beat Norway 3-1 this morning as well. And Norway enters Japan enters the quarterfinals for the fourth time in their existence. 5 a.m. Yeah, nice try. 5 a.m. Can you say ridiculous, boys and girls? I knew you could. Mhm. It's the time difference, Diane. It's a 15-hour time difference between here and in Australia, where the World Cup is being played. But do you think maybe they would give the break and have it shown like in prime time? No, they got to show when everybody's still asleep. Ridiculous. And that's my 2 cents for the good fan of the week right there. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. If you're a night owl, an insomniac, just coming home from a late date, maybe. Okay. Oh boy. Never mind. Hey, you might be watch the game after all. All right. Yes. Okay. So switching to WNBA for a moment. Okay. The Bulls Aces are the top team this year. At the time of this report, they were 24-2 and have clinched the playoff spot. Well, no surprise there, of course. Duh. Jackie Young scored 24 points in the victory, secured Atlanta's playoff spot. The last time a team got off this hot start was back in 1998 when the Houston Comets were the dominant factor. And at the time of this report, Vegas had 10 games left. I think it's now down to 9. So just to update on that. Brittany Griner expected to return to the Mercury today after missing 3 games to focus on her mental health. We're seeing a lot of that, aren't we, guys? Reiner has played in 20 of the 26 games this season, her first since returning from being detained in Russia for the last 10 months. Griner is doing very well, despite the fact the team is not. He's averaging 18.2 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks. Not bad. Reiner was selected to her 9th All-Star game last month, and the Mercury are miserable 7-19 this season. So while she's twinning up numbers, the rest of the team is not. Sorry to say. Yeah. Hopefully it is. And we have a milestone moment to reach in the WNBA, so I thought I'd bring this up. My favorite player, Diana Taurasi, came up a screen on the right wing on the outside of a three-point line early in the third quarter on for Thursday night. As she scored, as her point total was 9,997 total points, was starting to heat up her mind, was starting to think about one thing: shoot the ball, stupid. Uh, nothing was nothing was going to stop her when the ball on her next possession. When teammate Mariah Jefferson hit Taurasi, covered by a double team with a pass 28 feet from the basket, Taurasi let the ball fly in her usual fashion, and she made the three-point early in the third to become the first player to score 10,000 points. For a minute, I thought you thought I was going to say, did you say $10,000 pyramid? No, I said 10,000 points. Thank you. Okay, I threw that in. At the point, I was looking good, looking for a good shot. Said Taurasi was going up, but I was happy it happened on a three-pointer. Happy it was on a screen. I'm happy that someone passed me the ball. So what I was making a count milestone. That is how basketball is played. Everyone has a playing part. It's perfect. Taurasi was perfect as she could be in the Mercury's win over the Dream, that's the Atlanta Dream, 91-71, ending their four-game losing streak, and the Dream had a nightmare. Taurasi finished with 42 points, the most she scored since 2010, and the most she scored in a regulation game. Her season high was her first game scoring 40 points in July of 2010. Now she has to have 10,024 points in her career. A milestone at that. Congratulations, Diana. Yeah. WNBA is becoming pretty popular. Uh-oh. Okay, guys, you still there? Yeah. So, what do you make of this milestone moment? No thoughts, huh? Okay, I'll move on. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, oh, by the way, the U.S. scrimmage continues against Puerto Rico on Monday. Then head to Spain and Abu Dhabi, and then the UAE, then the Philippines, where the tournament will be held. Kind of a busy schedule, if you ask me. Yeah. Matt, how are you doing? How, uh, so, can you give us a little analysis on, what happened with you being there? Yes. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, what was the experience? What was the experience like? What was the experience like? I'm sure, like a flagrant game. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, but I'm sure it was well worth it. Yeah, right. I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you. Have a safe trip back. Unless you're back already. Okay. Oh, I have another NBA note here. The cities of Montreal and Vancouver, the former home of the Grizzlies, will host one preseason game each ahead of the upcoming season. The made the official announcement on Thursday. The two games are part of the Canada World Series, which is aimed at growing the game north of the border. And we'll start with the Raptors facing the Kings October 8th in Vancouver. The Thunder has two Canadian players on their squad and will play in Montreal against the Pistons October 12th. In total, 15 teams played in 16 preseason games across 6 cities as part of the NBA Canada Series that began back in 2012. It was that long ago. Wow. NBA rosters that start last year 22 players from Canada, making it the most represented country outside the U.S. for a 9th consecutive year. Yeah. And unfortunately, I had to bring the bad news again. I hate being the bearer of bad news here, but we have another story to tell. A player from the Drexel's men's basketball team, Terrence Butler, was found dead in his campus apartment on Thursday. The university had no details further were provided. Butler was a junior from Maryland. I think Steve might be familiar with this. A reserve on the team and played 8 games in 2 seasons for the Drexel Dragons, which they are known. The forward was named the CAA Commissioner's Academic Honor Roll last season. He had dealt with injuries over the last 2 seasons. That's a shame. I don't think there was any cause of foul play or whatnot, but still, it's a tragedy for such a great young player. Just sad to hear about that. It's always a shame to hear about from a very young player. I got some lighthearted news here. Collectibles broker Sotheby's expects Wilt Chamberlain's 1972 Finals jersey to sell for at least $4 million at an auction. Sotheby calls the jersey that he wore in the 72 championship clinching Game 5 against my Knicks the most valuable piece of memorabilia ever appear on the market. Yuck. The current record of a Chamberlain sports item is $1.7 million just 2 months ago. It was a jersey worn during his rookie season with the then known as the Philadelphia Warriors. Remember, the Warriors didn't come till the West Coast till 1968. Actually, 1971. Excuse me, 71. Online bidding will run for a month, beginning on August 28th and run through September 27th. So you got plenty of time. Wilt the Stilt, as he was once known, anchored Lakers to their first title while playing with a broken hand, ended up with 29 rebounds and 24 points. And the final game was MVP. Chamberlain died in 1999 at the age of 63. I remember that. The jersey is being offered with a collection depicting in magazines, newspapers, photographs, trading cards, etc., etc. It'll be on public display at Sotheby's LA Gallery from August 2nd to the 31st, which has already begun. $4 million for that jersey. Wow. Any of you basketball fans have any comments on that? That's a lot. Yeah. Steve, I actually have another idiot for you. Steve, I have another idiot for you. Spurs guard Devontae Graham has been suspended 2 games by the league for his stemming from his DWI charge last year. That was announced on Wednesday. Graham pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor driving while intoxicated charge, while a speeding charge was dropped in June. Why? I have no idea. According to the police report, Graham was pulled over early in the early morning hours of July 2nd last year, driving at the speed of 63 miles per hour, but it was in a 40-mile-per-hour zone, so yes, he was over that speed limit. During a traffic stop, Graham displayed signs of impairment and was taken into custody and then was transported to the Wake County Detention Center. Graham submitted a breathalyzer test for alcohol, and the results indicated a blood alcohol content of 0.11, which is above the state legal limit, which is 0.8. The league announced that Graham will be suspended for the first 2 games of the season without pay. Graham, who was traded to the Spurs last season, has 2 years and 24 minutes left on his deal that he signed with the Birds, the Pelicans, that is, in 2021. The Pelicans traded Graham, who was on the team at the time of the arrest, for second-round picks to the Spurs for Josh Richardson at last year's trade deadline. In 53 games with the Pelicans, Graham averaged 5.3 points per game and 2.2 assists. Once he was traded, Graham found a larger role with the Spurs, averaging 13 points in 20 games. Still, a very stupid thing to do. DWI. Will you people ever learn? Oh, yeah. Right. That's right. Only 30 days. Only 30 days. I think it's too lenient, though, to be honest with you. Bring it on. Yeah. Yes. Wait, well, hold on, is Diane still here? Good, because I got some Devils news for you. Defenseman Kevin Bale, Devils defenseman Kevin Bale. It's good. Defenseman Kevin Bale signed a 2-year deal for 2.1 million back on Monday. Bale has 2 goals and 6 assists in 42 games for the Devils last season and had 35 penalty minutes. Not so good. Bale joined the Devils as part of a trade that sent your favorite player to the Coyotes in 2019, and you know who that is. You can say the name. No, no. Think back to 2019, Diane. No. Does the name Taylor ring a bell? Yes. I could have said Arsenio Hall too, but no. Never mind. Okay. All right. For you golfers out there at the 3M Championship, Lee Hodges won his first PGA Tour victory on Sunday. He went wire to wire in 67 in the final round, setting a tournament record of 260 and ended with a 7-stroke victory. Nice. Hodges started the day with a 5-stroke lead over TJ Poston, ahead by 3, entering the par 5 hole for his 65th career start. After Poston's approach yielded a triple bogey, Hodgins tapped in a short putt for his third birdie. Yielded a triple bogey. Yeah. If Greg was still here, yeah. For Greg's at the 3M championship last week. Yeah. Was Hodges. Yeah. Tears of joy. Tears of joy. That's miserable. Yeah, that's true. So as Poston finished tied third. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, one more trading card note. One more note before I go. Texas quarterback Arch Manning sold his first trading card through the Panini website and broke a record. Manning's one-on-one autograph card that was produced by Panini was auctioned off for $102,500. That's the highest selling card on the company's website, surpassing Luka Doncic's National Treasures record that sold for more than 100,000. Good gravy. All right, guys, we're gonna have to wrap it up. Thank you for coming in. Yes, yes, right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I want to thank you for coming in, Dana. Welcome back. It was nice having you back, Dana. Hope you come back. I'm glad you're feeling better. Coming back. It's been a long time. I'm glad you came back. I'm glad all our regulars are with us. Don't forget, as we get towards college and pro football season, get in here because you otherwise you won't be able to take your picks. And I want to get everybody in as much as possibly we can. Rasul's coming up, so I'm gonna make way for him. So don't forget next week, same time, same station, 4 to 6. We'll cover more. We'll wrap up with the Women's World Cup to see where we're headed. Maybe we'll make the Final Four. I hope, and more with the preseason NFL and any late trades from waivers of the MLB if they're still going on, and more to come. So on that note, I wish you a pleasant week and stay safe. All right. On that note, good night. Hold it.